Yeah, see back. You see up under the steering wheel a little better. You notice that flotilla with Greta, it has mostly baby formula, and it has been intercepted in international waters. And I think she's largely used. Like, I think she probably really believes in a global warming threat, and I think she probably really cares about the Palestinian people. But I think that she's also kind of used as a pawn by other forces. And while we're watching about that, America gives Ukraine the green light to use intercontinental ballistic missiles at Russia. And if you remember, a few days before this, a lot of the military was called into Washington, and some people speculated that it was planning about the Three-Eye Atlas, but it probably has more to do with the planned invasions of Russia and Iran, one or the other or both. And so I kind of wonder, and like sometimes people will say, well, they're distracting us from this, like what I just said. But there's always a constant stream of distractions. And they don't want you to ever really have time to examine or think about something. If you're not being entertained by propaganda, you need to be listening to music full of propaganda. You need a noise in your head at all times, so you never have time to think. You never have time to process all the data that's already been crammed into your head. And I want to say another thing. I remember when I was a boy, there was a preacher who went on one of them talk shows, and I don't remember which talk show it was on, and he was exposing certain things in the Talmud, and there was a Jewish rabbi that said that he would bring the Talmud and show what it was in it and what wasn't in it, and that man wound up dead, probably because he's not allowed to show what's in it. And this preacher was falsely accused. He was raided by the FBI, and they accused him of killing that. And none of it made sense. It didn't make sense that he could have killed him. And I've always wondered about that. And then I remember another rabbi saying that there was, of course, there's the Jewish and the Babylonian Talmud, the Zohar and the Midrash or something like that. But there's like sanitized versions. There's versions where they take out parts and they don't show everybody. So I'm wanting to try to get my hand on the full thing and read it for myself, because if I have been spreading misinformation, I want to correct that. I don't want to just be spreading misinformation. But I do believe the things I say. I'm not trying to deceive anybody or lead anybody astray. But like everybody, I hear information and I repeat information that I've heard. And a lot of the information, I wouldn't say a lot of the information. A lot of it's easy to verify. Like I don't know how to say his last name, but you could look up and see I'm telling you the truth about the Bavarian Illuminati. The official story is it's founded by Adam Weishaupt. I don't know how to say his last name, who is a Jew. But not all of it can be verified, because like who's got the Babylonian and the Jerusalem Talmud in their full form out of a synagogue reading it? Like nobody. And I do notice though that all of your AI programs and Google and Chat GTP, their algorithms get changed around on the fly to fit the official narrative. And so, like I remember the numbers, the financial numbers for the aid of Israel being 10 times what they say they are today. And they just moved the decimal over on almost everything. But you know, my friend messaged me last night, and he was talking about Forrest Gump, and he was talking about, do you remember the fight scene where he fights at the Black Panther meeting, and then he says, you know, he apologizes and says he didn't mean to mess up their, I don't remember the exact quote, but he didn't mean to ruin their Black Panther party. And he asked me if I remembered that scene. And the same thing with the life is like a box of chocolates, you never know what you're going to get quote. There's so many Mandela effects, and they seem to be increasing. Like, it's way more than there used to be. Like, some people remember the wineskins in the Bible being in one part and it being bottles in another part, like Luke and Matthew. And then now it looked like it says bottles instead of wineskins in both parts. Now I know, like, I was reading in Matthew and I read it twice in the same day and it changed. I mean, I don't know how to explain that. I don't really read the Bible like I used to, but I used to be in the habit of, I would read the same passage. I'm talking about like when I was in middle school. I'd read the same passage 3 different times in a day. And it was always be the same thing, but I might notice things I didn't notice before. You know, and all kind of different movies. And I mean, there's even movies that people are saying never existed. But in all kind of movies, people's memories aren't matching. Logos aren't matching. Bible verses aren't matching how people remember things. And I think about George Orwell's book, 1984, and about how he was talking about how, I might be getting 2 different futuristic dystopian novels mixed up, because there's Alex Huxley or something like that and George Orwell, and I might be getting one mixed up, but one of them talks about us having screens, basically like smartphones, way before that could have happened, like in the 40s or something. And he talks about how they'll change the definitions of words and update history in real time. They'll make changes and all kind of stuff like this. And we're living in those days. We're living in those days where Wikipedia scrubs all of the Clinton references to Jeffrey Epstein that used to be in there. And not just him, you know, a lot of people, not just Bill Clinton. And it's just very weird. And the frequency of these anomalies are going up as time goes on. You hear about the people say they take DMT and shine a laser and they see code like we're in a matrix. And I'm starting to wonder, are we in a simulation? I have no explanation.